1953, a truly historic year. Historic in motor racing too, for this car scored Jaguar's most convincing win ever in the world's most famous motor race, the Le Mans 24 Hours. Car number 18, driven by Tony Rolt and Duncan Hamilton, averaged over 100 miles an hour to cover a record distance of 2,535 miles. Today, the car is perfectly preserved, in exactly the form in which it was prepared for the race by the factory 54 years ago. Down the years, only a tiny handful of genuine Le Mans winners have been retained in this unspoiled state. Jaguar boss Sir William Lyons knew the marketing value of this win was incalculable. For Rolt and Hamilton, it was their finest hour, and it made the number 18 C-Type Jaguar one of the most famous racing cars of all time. In 1993, Duncan Hamilton was reunited with his Le Mans winning C-Type, sympathetically returned to its original state by his son Adrian. Duncan reveals, the victors very nearly weren't allowed to start the race at all.
We had 4 cars in front of the pits instead of 3. And Sterling Moss was driving with us that year. He was driving 17, I was driving number 18, and Whitehead was driving number 19. But we had 2 number 18s. And I only used 1. And then this was on account of an error in the regulations. And I was just about to be asked to drive the second car to see if it was as fast as the other cars, which had a different specification, when the car was taken out by the mechanic who warmed it up and was black flagged. And we were told by midnight on the practice that we had been disqualified because we'd used 2 practice cars. We hadn't used 2 practice cars, and I arranged with 1 car, not 2. But they said, no, that stands, but we'll have a court of inquiry in the morning. So Tony Rolt and myself retired down to one of the French bistros, where we met a lot of old cronies, and the Martel Courvoisier flowed very, very well. We were still there in the morning, and we were sitting at Grouvier's restaurant with terrible hangovers, unshaved, when Sir William Lyons pulled up in a car and said, "It's all right, boys," he said, "I've paid £25 fine and you're on." So then we had to go back to black coffee and hot baths and get into training for the race that started at 4 o'clock.
You and Tony obviously made a formidable team driving them all, because of course the following year you had a 2nd place. But what was the secret, what is the secret of a good long distance sports car driver?
Well, first of all, not to fit. And very fit. And you must be able to drive in the dark. And we concentrated on the dark and the bad weather. When people relax in the dark and say, well, dawn will soon be here, we realize that's the time to really press on and to drive faster. In fact, I put the lap record in the dark. The car never missed a beat. And in practice, I'd broken the lap record time after time. And I was very happy with the car. It felt right. It did everything right. It stopped, it steered, and we thought we were very happy. It turned out we were right.
Chasing down a rainbow, don't know where it's leading to.
Le Mans remained Jaguar's goal. The three privateers in 1950 had shown that if a dedicated racing version of the XK could be developed, the goal was attainable. So for 1951, the XK120 Competition, or C-Type, made its bow, developed by Bill Haynes with Malcolm Sayers' superb aerodynamics. William Lyons obviously approved. And starting a tradition, the three works entries were given a send-off from the factory and driven down through France to the race. By Saturday evening, the new cars were running 1, 2, 3, Sterling Moss in number 22 setting a new lap record. But two were destined to retire. The third, driven by Peter Walker and Peter Whitehead, went on to score a magnificent debut win for the C-Type. The second outing for the new car was the Tourist Trophy on the dangerously narrow Irish road circuit of Dundrod. Sterling Moss had won the previous year in a private XK120, and once again he was uncatchable, leading home a C-Type 1, 2, 3. In 1952, the successes continued, but this time Jaguar were out of luck at Le Mans. So when they returned to France in 1953, it was with renewed determination. Now there were 4 C-Types, 3 works cars and a Belgian private entry. But the opposition was tremendous, with works teams from Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Lancia, Aston Martin and Cunningham. The Ferraris were mighty 4.1-litre coupes, this one driven by Mike Hawthorne. Jaguar race strategy decided Sterling Moss should be the hare, and his start was fantastic. Moss was soon established in the lead, pursued by the Ascari-Villoresi Ferrari, and so began a green versus red battle that was to last much of the race, with the Jaguars benefiting greatly from their new disc brakes. Moss led at record speed until he was delayed by a blocked fuel filter. But teammates Tony Rolt and Duncan Hamilton held the Ferraris at bay until Ascari retired with 5 hours to go. So car 17, Moss and Walker, was now second. Car 18, Rolt and Hamilton, was clear leader. Car 19, Whitehead and Stewart, was fourth. And as the long race ground on to its climax, that's how they finished. A magnificent result for Jaguar and for Britain in Coronation Year.
Chasing down that rainbow, that's what we're gonna do. I've got my rainbow wrapped around you. My rainbow's wrapped around